Welcome back to the Ennui Talk podcast, everyone's favorite podcast, the best podcast. I'm Matthew Winter, as you probably all know, and today, another guest. I know you guys love him, Asterios Kokkinos. Now, many of my listeners might have no fucking clue who you are, because you are, I don't know, I guess my demographic is younger males, and you are a older male. So in a sort of short, summarized version, who are you, Asterios Kokkinos?
Sure. No, I mean, the easiest way to explain it is I'm a comedian. Been a comedian for a long time. I live in New York, live in Brooklyn. I do a bunch of different podcasts about a bunch of different topics. And I'm just kind of looking forward to shooting the shit and hanging out. It's cool to talk to you. I
appreciate that very much. And as you mentioned before we recorded, this is like the 17th you've sort of recorded over the last few weeks, just coming on podcasts. And I appreciate that you allowed yourself to come on this little podcast. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Like my girlfriend will go out of town to visit her college friends from time to time. And then it's just like, I got nothing to do. And so sometimes I'll just tweet like, if you have a podcast and you need a guest, I will guest on your tiny, shitty podcast. Now, look, in your case, it seems like it's neither. But, yeah, so something like I just got off the phone with like 3 college kids, and they haven't even launched it yet. Like, I'm their 3rd episode. It was really cute. We talked about iCarly a bunch. And then before that, I was on like a gambling and cryptocurrency podcast out of Las Vegas, talking about Dogecoin fluctuations and Monero and a brand new American Gladiators documentary that's coming out. And then after this, I'll be on some other podcast on some service I've never heard of called StreamYard. Have you ever heard of StreamYard?
I've never heard of a StreamYard. Never heard of StreamYard in my life.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell it is either. I hope it's not some sort of weird, creepy bullshit. But yeah, so I'll be on StreamYard in 2 hours. So we'll see you at that. And it's just like, it's fun. You never know who you're talking to or what you're going to talk about. I mean, like, what is your show typically about?
What is my show typically about? It's, I could easily just say it's white guys talking because that's essentially what it is. But I think it's like, I don't know. Well, you know what? That's what it is. It's just me trying to be a famous podcaster. I'm trying to be the next Joe Rogan. I hate saying that, but it's like, I don't know. I just like talking to people, talking to my friends, talking to guests, shooting the shit, having conversations. I think conversations are more interesting than, what's going on in the world right now? I think that gets sort of dated as well. If we want to talk in, business terms, I like evergreen content. Evergreen content that's going to be, you could visit it in like 10 years and it'd still be funny. It'd still be entertaining. And that's sort of my thought process. So if we start talking about, for example, what's something that's not relevant anymore that was before. Oh, Harambe. Oh, remember that big monkey gorilla guy? And it was the big meme, as we all do. No one's going to give a shit about that. Who cares about fucking Harambe? Nobody.
You know what, man? I'll tell you something. Like, so I listen to like a lot of old wrestling podcasts. And like, I fucking love wrestling.
Oh, me too.
And I listen to them. And then sometimes they'll be like, hey, it's kind of a weird day to do a podcast. We're going to try to have fun today, but it's weird because there was a mass shooting today. And so we'll try to have fun. And I'm always like, I have no idea what mass shooting they're talking about. There have been so goddamn many. And they'll always just be like, yeah, we got to do something. Hopefully we can do something soon about all the, when will the violence end? And it's like, yeah, well, when will the violence end? Jesus Christ, guy. There's so many mass shootings that now it's like even mentioning mass shootings quickly dates your podcast. It's like, which one, assholes?
Oh, that's fucking funny. It's crazy. It's actually like, okay, if you're just hosting a comedy podcast or a wrestling podcast or something that's a bit niche, do you really need to sort of, I guess you can acknowledge it, but do you need to discuss that sort of stuff?
No, it's just people feel guilty. It's like people feel like guilty and powerless. I mean, look, there's a thing where, like I used to do stand up. So like, well, yeah, all right. If there was a horrific event that morning, like, yeah, I guess you'll probably want to like talk about it. like, and just kind of be like, yeah, this is on everyone's mind, so like, let's discuss this and get this out of the way. But you know, it's interesting, man. I used to work in public relations, and you know, we would do like public relations for like very big, like Twitter accounts, like, you know, like a big ice cream account or something like that. And whenever there was a mass shooting, we had to do this thing called going dark on social, which means like you don't post for a while, because early in like the history of Twitter, like if there was like a mass shooting that day and you have all these tweets programmed in that are just like, it's today's National Ice Cream Day. Have an ice cream-licious, cone-horrific day. People would tweet at you and they'd be like, hey, a bunch of people just died. Can you calm down about how this is a cone-horrific day? And so we'd always like, if there was a mass shooting, like we'd all hop on the phone and be like, we gotta go dark. And then at some point, man, there were so many goddamn mass shootings in America that we were just like, yeah, we can't go dark anymore, because we would just be going dark every day if we had to go dark.
That's exactly
because
right.
of them. Yup, exactly. So we stopped because it was like, what's the fucking point?
There's always going to be shit things in the world happen everywhere, no matter what.
Yeah, it's yep.
Don't people go to sort of social media for that?
But like really specifically though, like no, but like no, this is America, man. It's different. It's a hellhole. Like, yeah, is there always going to be sadness in the world? Yeah, but it's like, no, it's different. It's like a different thing. but anyway, now it's funny. I'm talking about how talking about mass shootings will date podcasts. Look, maybe by the time you're listening to this, there will be no more terror. And then it'll be pretty fucking dated that I'm talking about this.
Yes,
I'll stop.
The year will be 3,000, 4,000. Thousands of years from now, we'll have no mass shootings. That's interesting. In it, because I'm an Australian, as you can probably tell by the accent. We haven't had a mass shooting. Okay, we've had a few shootings. We've had, you know, a few hostage situations, blah blah blah. But oh fuck, are we really going to go into gun control? Fuck it, we're going to discuss it for just a few minutes.
We don't have to.
Well, look,
I heard that you guys banned them and that everything kind of worked out fine. Is that true or false?
True.
Really? Is it true?
Well,
I thought that was a gross oversimplification.
We can. Oh, it's
that's true. That's hilarious.
Gross oversimplification. But
yeah, it turns out when we got rid of all those guns, people couldn't shoot each other anymore. Wow, who would have thought? What a crazy idea.
But is it? Well,
all right. Anyway, let's talk about wrestling.
Let's look. Actually, one thing I wanted to ask was, you have a very interesting name, Asterios Kokkinos.
I do.
Yes. What is the worst pronunciation that you've heard of your name?
Oh, all of them?
All of them?
It's like and here it's funny because like sometimes like I'll meet someone and they'll have like a very ethnic name and I'll get it slightly wrong and they'll get like pissed off about it. And it's like, hey, back the fuck off. I'm Asterios Kokkinos. You know how many times I've heard like Asterios Kokkinos? Every time I've heard like Asterios, and it's just like, yeah, people don't know. Whatever. It's weird, man. I got a weird name. What are you going to do?
It's not even that hard to like sound it out, syllable by fucking syllable.
Yeah, it's like it's like, you know, when you hear it once and you get it. But like it's like my whole life I'm just numb to it. Someone mispronounces my name and it's like, yeah, I get it. It's even Greek people think my name is weird. I even have a weird name for Greeks. Like Greeks are like, your name is what? Asterios? It would be like if someone was named like Timothy or like Philippe. It's like, what, you mean Phil? Like, no, it's like a weird name even for us.
It is a weird name, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's because it's old. It's like a very old fashioned name that like they only gave to people in this one village. And I just my family happens to be from that village.
Did you ever get like bullied because of your name? Like, I know that's probably a stupid question. I feel like you did. I just feel like it's like, you know,
yeah.
What did they find it hard to pronounce as kids? Like, did they just call you something else or did they just pronounce your name wrong? all through school.
Yeah, my mom told me to tell everyone to call me Steve. And I was like, that actually makes a lot of sense. And so I did for a while. I was just like, yeah, Steve. Call me Steve Kokkinos. Much easier. And so for a while I went by Steve just because it was easier. But yeah, then like I got into high school and it's like, man, but you know what? They can figure out how to pronounce Asterios. They'll be fine.
They'll figure it out. So I did a little, obviously, having a guest on the podcast, I got to do a little bit of research. And one of the first places I went to was your LinkedIn. And I looked at your LinkedIn, oh, you're open for work. And your image, your profile is you with a man dressed as a corn of cob. Cob of corn. Corn of cob?
Yes.
Same thing. Great marketing strategy, I think. I think everybody's LinkedIn looks the same. It's just you. It's a nice headshot, nice bright lights, white background, and they're just smiling. But you, a bit different, a bit. I think it's unique, and I think if anybody's going to hire, because you're a copywriter by trade, wouldn't you? Would say, yeah.
Oh my God, that's how I made a living for years and years now, is writing ads, is like writing tweets for corporations and writing commercials and writing all that bullshit.
Do you have, I was going to ask, do you have any good stories? Of course you have a good story of some sort.
From advertising?
From advertising, of course, because it's very interesting. Of course, because you're still in that game right now, aren't you? That's still your main source of income.
That's how I make a living. It's like, it's as you could probably attest, it's hard to make your living off of podcasting.
Fuck yes.
Unless you're like Australia's most famous podcaster and I'm just like monocultured and I don't know shit.
Fuck no.
But like at least in America, it's hard to make a living off of podcasting.
It's actually interesting because I was doing a bit of research, for my Patreon, doing a bit, just doing it up a bit, making sure my tiers are good and all that sort of stuff. All the copyright's good and all that stuff. And it's amazing how many people are making like hundreds and thousands, maybe $100,000 a year at least. But even some of them a month, making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. And realistically, all they're putting on their Patreon is, bonus podcast every week. And it's like, what the fuck? You must be a good podcast host. You must have a good show that people want to listen to and donate $5 to $7 just to listen to that. And then that's how you're making a living. That amazes me. I can't fathom it.
Yeah, I think the thing is that if you listen to podcasts, you are probably an adult.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird. It's weird otherwise. Like, I mean, I know there are kids that listen to podcasts on YouTube, but like, if you fucking have iTunes and shit, that you're probably grown up and you're probably listening to podcasts at work or you're listening to podcasts on your commute. And so, it's like, if someone could keep me sane on the way to work, yeah, I'll give you some money. That's incredibly important to me. Like for me, I'm back before the coronavirus, like I'd be on the subway for about 3 hours a day, like an hour and a half to get to work, an hour and a half back. And so, yeah, I'll give you $5 for more podcasts if I like your podcast. That's the thing. I always like it when podcasters have like a weird little show that you can only get if you pay for. Because it's like, oh, neat. This is it. Like you feel special, and it's like something that it's just kind of us. Like we're just this little community listening to this weird little show. Like one of my favorite shows is this show called the Flop House, and they have this like D&D game that they play on that you can only get if you pledge to their crowdfunding. You get to hear them play a little Dungeons and Dragons. It's like, oh, it's so much fun, and then you're listening to it and you feel like you're playing Dungeons and Dragons. You're like, well, here's what I would do, and if I was in the situation, and when they roll the dice, you're like, oh fuck, is it gonna be a 20? What are they gonna get on this dice? And it's like, yeah, that's worth $5 for me. That's fucking great.
Oh, fuck yeah. And that's the thing. I think podcasts are so engaging. Like, for example, if there's let's go low. 10,000 people listen to a podcast. I think the conversion rate is going to be significantly high. Do you know what I mean? Like my podcast has, very small listenership, but probably compared to a lot of other podcasts, it's probably high to, compared to others. But then you see so many, I've seen like so many YouTubers and content creators and stuff like that, and they have a Patreon, and some of them have hundreds and thousands of subscribers, and then also have, pretty significant views. They're coming in quite regularly, and then their Patreon, there's fuck all people, 100 people out of like the few 100,000 are subscribing. And it's like, how the fuck are you fucking this up? Like, I'm not the smartest man in the world.
Because their audience is kids.
That's
that's the thing. It's like that is the interesting thing. It's hard for YouTubers to convert because if you're watching YouTube, like there's a good chance you're a kid. And obviously everybody watches YouTube and everybody listens to podcasts, granted, but it's like, fucking kids watch YouTube. It's for babies. And so like they don't have a credit card. And if they did, they don't have expendable income to like they expect it to be free. Like when I was young, like I fucking pirated all my music. And now that I'm old, I buy albums, and I prefer to buy albums just because it's like, yeah, I'd rather give these guys a couple of bucks. Like it's just once you become older, like you're thinking, like your thinking changes on this shit, and it's like, yeah, look, $10 isn't going to make or break me, but for a kid, it's like, well, that might be all the money you have right now. Like, what the fuck?
See, it's one thing I found really interesting was, so Logan Paul. He launched his like clothing wear, and that's a one-off purchase. And a lot of these kids can go, "Mummy, can I have a Maverick tee?" And they'll be thinking, what the fuck is a Maverick tee? But they buy it from him anyway. And then I saw that Logan Paul launched some sort of video on demand service, fucking some shit. It was a subscription service, and you had to pay, $5 a month or some shit like that. And you wonder how successful that's actually going to be, because kids, even if they might be getting like, decent pocket money. Imagine if they're getting, $50 a week, and then they have to pay $5 a month for somebody's Patreon or subscription service. They'd be like, oh no, but then I can't go down and buy candy or whatever shit kids do, because kids don't understand money. And we could go into the discussion of, people not being taught how to manage money in schools and all that sort of shit. But we won't. But it's interesting how kids don't understand the concept of money and the concept of value and shit like that. And that's just something that you learn in life.
Yeah, I mean, interestingly, it's not the kids making the decision at that point. Like, a parent understands why a kid wants a t-shirt. Like, if it's a brand name fucking t-shirt and it's got a celebrity on it, like, yeah, they get it. It's like, yeah, well, when they were kids, they probably wanted Air Jordans. Like, oh, there's other sneakers. Yeah, but these are Michael Jordan sneakers. But it's like, how the hell are you going to explain to your parents that, like, you want to give Ninja some bits? Like, that's the thing I don't understand. It's like, if my kid was like, give me money so I can give someone a super chat, I'd be like, no, just watch the guy. Yeah, I'm not giving you. It's like, no.
It's funny. It's funny how it's like, you think that, in turn, with that discussion that, kids creators aren't able to make a lot of money, but then the people who are making kids content, the ad rates are brilliant. They love it. I know somebody, one of my best mates, his younger sister, they together started doing some sort of like story time. They had like little dolls of some sort. Can't remember what it was. And it was amazing how much money they were making and how much, it would push out to, the relevant people, because what kids do, they put on, like, the parents just put the TV on or put the iPad on, and then it will just keep flicking through videos and keep flicking through videos. So then they would get the views, and then they would get more money just from YouTube ads, which is, for creators like us, people who are making, more mature content. YouTube doesn't like that anymore. Fuck no. Like, they like nothing like that. But like the kids creators are getting fucking good money.
Yeah, I mean, if you're making content for kids, like, then YouTube also knows, like, yeah, I can put ads on this. This isn't going to be some weird Al Qaeda training video. Like, remember how a couple of years ago, Coca-Cola was like, hey, YouTube, you're serving our Coca-Cola ads on like these weird bomb making videos. Can you stop? And like every major corporation did like a YouTube pause for a couple of months. And then YouTube was like, oh, we promise no more commercials on your terrorism videos. It's like, well, these fucking kids videos, you can throw the farm at those, and like kids toys sell, kids food sell, movies sell, like fucking Trolls 2. Every time you wanted to watch Trolls World Tour, you had to pay another $20 to get that thing streamed to your house. It's like, yeah, there's fucking money there. Good for your friends. I'm proud of them.
Oh, I'm proud of them too. Very jealous because they're making a living and I'm just a sad McDonald's manager just trying to make it in this world. 6 years now since I've started this little endeavor. Getting there slowly, day by day. It takes 7 years to become an overnight success. I guess.
Do you work? Do you manage a McDonald's for real?
I'm okay. Well, I am a manager. I wouldn't say I'm not running the whole show. I could if I wanted to,
okay,
and I'd be fucking
fine.
good at it. But I'm
do
just
you work at McDonald's?
It's a living. It's a solid living.
You're not saying yes or no. Do you currently work at a McDonald's?
Yes, I do.
And
it's
okay. Did you guys have the Travis Scott meal over there?
No, we didn't. I had people ask.
Do you have a similar meal that's like an Australian celebrity?
No, Australian celebrity. We do not have Australian celebrities. And America's taken all of the half decent Australian celebrities.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did do that.
Yeah, all of them. Every single one.
Like Dr. House.
Yes.
Isn't Dr. House Australian?
I think he is. And then there's who's the one who was in Suicide Squad? The girl, the blonde one.
Oh yeah. Oh, she was yours?
Yeah, she was on.
Oh, that's yo, that's a loss.
I remember. We have a soap opera here in Australia called Neighbours, and she was one of the young.
She was
teen
on like
girls.
Your EastEnders.
Pretty much.
She was on like Your EastEnders. God damn, that's great.
And I had a big crush.
Yeah.
I had the hugest crush on Margot Robbie. That's her name, Margot Robbie.
The whole world has a crush on Margot. Okay, so there's no Margot Robbie meal, which is just like, I guess, like a line of cocaine and some flavored ice.
I wish, but I don't think that's kid friendly. I don't think so, anyway.
No. All right, what are your McDonald's toys like? Like, do you currently have Pokemon toys?
We did. Yeah, we did actually. And then recently we had Charlie Brown toys. Was there some sort of Charlie Brown thing happening recently? I don't think so.
Yeah, there was Apple TV has like a Charlie Brown cartoon. I mean, oh man. Okay, yo, Charlie Brown's my fucking favorite. Can you please describe to me what these Charlie Brown toys were? Or are?
It was literally just Charlie. And it was him. It was like they're really shitty quality. They're not the best quality too. I've seen many headless Charlies around the dining room.
Oh, that's okay. All right, look. Is there? How about Snoopy as that World War I fighter pilot sitting on top of his house? Is that a toy?
It was.
Okay, really? Okay, Snoopy in the Sopwith Camel.
No,
excellent. All right, how about Schroeder and his piano? Is that a toy?
I think it was, but it was when I was. Yeah, I've got a feeling it was. But yeah, we had a big bunch of them at one point.
My God, that's so cool. Have you heard about the fucking prices of these goddamn these McDonald's Pokemon toys?
No.
And how like, okay, I don't look. At least in America, the Pokemon toys were coming with. They were coming with Pokemon cards, and there's some sort of ridiculous, like in America, that like the Pokemon card market has gone insane, and people are like lining up outside of Walmarts for hours so they can go buy like 50 packs of Pokemon cards. I don't know. The sports card market recently has gone cuckoo caca, and so people are like at McDonald's, like literally like demanding to buy Pokemon cards, and like they're making like poor fucking teenagers that work at McDonald's cry because they're being such assholes about these goddamn Pokemon cards. I love it.
It's so crazy.
I love it
because it was the Logan Paul videos that sort of I think shot it up extremely mainstream. I know it was like sort of growing here and there, but those Logan Paul videos that he put out, collecting these cards and going to see the guy. There was a guy who was on Pawn Stars who was trying to sell his exclusive card, and he didn't. And the only reason he went on there was because he knew it would go on TV, and then the card would become more valuable. And I'm thinking, that's fucking smart. That is smart as shit. But yeah, everyone wants Pokemon cards now. It's crazy.
Yes, this is what I'm saying. This is the time. This is the, like, it's all happening when it comes to Pokemon. It's like, the fucking people are like spending thousands of dollars on Charizards. Oh, and there's this thing. All right, so check this shit out. If you have like a first edition Charizard, holographic or whatever, yeah, man, that's worth money. Of course, man, that's worth money. Apparently, like, the money is in the Charizards, but if you have a sealed, unopened, original Pokemon pack, those sell for a fortune because rich people love opening sealed packs from the 90s, and they do it like on stream, and they turn it into content. Like, you gotta, if there's any unopened Pokemon cards, I don't know if you guys have basements in Australia, but if you do, you go find unopened packs of Pokemon. You'll be richer than podcasting.
Because you could absolutely, like, you know, you can sell it for the value of the cards. But if you're selling to rich people who are going to open it on stream and make revenue off that, and there's so much more valuable than that. Absolutely.
I know, it's great. And people are doing a thing where, because it's like, all right, if a Pokemon card, like a pack of Pokemon cards, like, I don't know, let's say it weighs like an ounce. Like, I don't know the metric system, sorry. Like, let's say it weighs an ounce. But the Pokemon cards that have a holographic rare weigh like 1.3 ounces. So there's a thing where they're like, this pack isn't opened, but I've measured it, and it's, quote, a heavy Pokemon pack. And it's like, and a heavy pack goes more for more than a light pack. Oh, the Pokemon market. It's so much fun.
Oh, that's fucking crazy.
So you're not selling the cards at your McDonald's. No. You're not selling the cards.
No, just little toys.
Damn it. I'm sorry.
I know. It would have been, because it would have been something that I would have been, you know, let's just sneak a few cards out of the back, chuck them in my pocket, see what they're worth.
Yeah. That's how you, man, my girlfriend used to work at McDonald's. McDonald's Monopoly came around. She would just be like literally like sitting in the back, just ripping the labels off of hundreds of cards.
We don't know how to do that. I've seen people get in trouble. Well, of course you're not supposed to, but you can just take it to another store. What are they supposed to know?
No, exactly. No, you're definitely not allowed to do that. No, it is. I mean, look, it's stealing, man. Of course it is. But you're 18, you're 17, whatever. Who cares? And so. My girlfriend opened up so many fucking packs my girlfriend opened up so many of these goddamn packs of these goddamn McDonald's Monopoly bullshits, and got so many coupons for free McMuffins that they had to like pass a rule. They were like, all right, employees are no longer allowed to use coupons because Sriracha ruined it. Which I fucking loved. She ruined it for her. So she would have to take them, just like you said, to other McDonald's.
God, that's funny. That is fucking hilarious.
I fucking love it.
There are many topics that we could discuss about your history on the internet. Yeah. We could easily get into a lawsuit. We're not going to do that. There's many other resources for that sort of stuff. But there's two things.
Talk about whatever you want. You talk about. Look, you don't. If you ask a question and I don't like it, I'll just refuse to answer. I don't care. No, look, ask about whatever you want. I'm an open book, except of course for the parts of it I close on purpose.
Of course. But I think there's more interesting stuff than this big lawsuit. And you know what? Maybe I'll have to bring you back on because people are going to be like, oh, the lawsuit, what's that? And then, you know, well, look, there's a sequel episode. Done.
This is America. We're all suing each other constantly. You think it's like your guest is going to be like, wait a minute, America, litigious, mass shootings, what? Who would have thought in America?
Oh, but there was one thing I wanted to discuss.
Talk to me. What do you want to talk about?
You've done many different, you know, projects, audio projects, video projects. You've been involved with many different things. What's the favorite thing you've worked on that isn't let's let's include your more recent project, The Loudest Podcast. What's the thing that you're most proud of being involved with that you have worked on in your many, many years?
I mean, that's a really good question. I'm currently I'm doing this show called Jacked right now, and it is paywalled. It's a paywalled show. Like you can hear anyone can hear the first episode for free. You go to jackedpodcast.com. But the other 6 episodes and all future episodes, you got to pay for it because it's a cyberpunk RPG tabletop podcast. So it's like kind of like a Dungeons and Dragons thing, but instead of Dungeons and Dragons, we're playing this ancient game from 1988 that's literally called Cyberpunk, and it's it was written and developed before we had an idea of what technology would look like or what it would do or what it would be like. So they don't know what the internet is. They have this thing called the Matrix that you can deck into, and but you have to have super expensive computer hardware and wires coming out of your neck to access the Matrix, and you can deck into the Matrix to find corporate data that you then sell to the highest bidder. And there's flechette guns, and they didn't know what drones were, and they didn't know what the future would be like. They didn't know that you'd have a computer that was a phone, that was a video camera, that was in your pocket. So it's just really, really interesting. So this show is it's a look at the present from, it's a look at the past's view of the present from the future. And this tabletop game took place in the year 2013. So we're in 2021 playing a game called Cyberpunk 2013 that canonically called Cyberpunk 2013 that was written in 1988. And it's a lot of fun. And so I play this futuristic cybernetic PR guy named Royce Grayson, and I help futuristic cybernetic celebrities cover up their dirty business, and I help corporations get out of jams, and I'm just a corporate fixer. And it is so much fun. I love doing it. Every episode is fully orchestrated. We pay a guy to write music, and the episodes are an hour and a half long each. So it's an hour and a half of original music every episode. And I'm playing it with my best friend from college. The Dungeon Master is another really good friend of mine from back in from when I used to live in Los Angeles and I used to do comedy. And it's just so much fun, and it's my favorite thing to do right now.
I love that. I just want to say I love that.
It's great.
See, I think there's so many. When I think of podcasts, sometimes it's I get, you get looped up in it's just a Joe Rogan, and then it's all these shitty YouTubers trying to make podcasts, but it's so much more. And see, that's a podcast that I would really, really love to fucking listen to.
Well, you should. I mean, look, Joe Rogan is the Starbucks of podcasting. He's the biggest name in podcasting. They paid him, what did they pay him? $300 million fucking dollars to do that goddamn show? Yeah, it's and good for him. He's worth it. Yeah, I mean, my favorite shows are these weird role playing game shows that we have now, the Adventure Zone. The McElroy brothers do this show called The Adventure Zone, and they've turned this D&D thing into a line of comic books. The 3rd graphic novel just came out. There's a board game coming out for The Adventure Zone pretty soon. So it's the storytelling's kind of becoming whatever the hell you want it to be. It's a lot of fun.
I love that. That's bloody brilliant. As we do sort of start to wind down, there's 2 things I want to hit on, and one of them's
sure.
So, doing a bit of research, You know, I went on it was the Dick Show's Wikipedia page. You know, there's a lot you can cover there. Blah blah blah, lawsuit, falling outs, etc. Whatever. But down the bottom, I saw that you at 3 a.m. at a UFC gym had the greatest boxing match of all time. Explain.
Have you seen the fight?
Oh, I've seen the fight.
Have you seen the footage of the fight? Oh, okay, yeah. So, all right, look, we got to keep this short, just like your host said, because it's like, I got another podcast
TLDR.
to do after this. But look, man, I'm not a big fan of Donald Trump. I just don't like him. I think he's very funny. Like, I love his comedy. I just hate his politics.
Of course.
And that can be a problem when you're the president of the United States.
A little bit.
What were you gonna say?
A little bit, just a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, exactly. So what was I gonna say? So there was this dude, like, who was really big on like a Donald Trump subreddit. He was like the moderator of a Donald Trump subreddit, and he just didn't like my politics, and so he just tweeted me and he like challenged me to a fight. And like, I've never been in a fight in my entire life, and I'm also like 37 or 36 years old at the time. But I'm like, you know what? If there's one person I think I can beat in a fight, it's a Redditor. It's like the moderator of a subreddit. Just for some reason, I think I can do that. And so, like, I met him at like a UFC gym at like 3 in the goddamn morning. And I fucking fought him. And it was like a big, crazy fucking fight. We were just like punching the shit out of each other. And his girlfriend was like a cat girl, and she came in like full cat girl attire, and like she kept licking his face like a cat, and like he was like leading her around on a leash and shit, and it was bad, man. It was like real gross, and it was like a real bad scene, and we fought to a draw. Like, I wish I could say like I beat the fuck out of him, but like the first round, I got off like a real good shot to his fucking face, because I'd been like doing some boxing training, and so I snapped off like a picture perfect jab to his face, and he made this like real scared face, like he'd never been punched before, and I got so excited. I just started going crazy like a dumbass Tasmanian devil. And I just kept like punching and punching and punching like a big, dumb, stupid asshole. And I tired myself out. So by the second round, I could like barely move.
Fucking amazing. Oh.
I said, by the second round, I could not. I was like, I'm an out of shape 37-year-old podcaster. Like, that's not, you want to talk about getting gassed? That guy gets gassed. But thank God, like, I had done enough damage in round 1 that he, like, agreed to a draw. And we were going to fight later. And because I wanted to do, like, a real fight with, like, ring girls and a medic and fucking, like, I wanted to do it, like, for real and sell tickets and sell copies of my book and shit.
Oh, fuck yeah.
But he stopped. I guess he just did not want to do another fight, which was very unfortunate for my wallet, because I could really use that money. That fight cash would have been pretty cool, because you could sell tickets to a fight. People want to watch two idiots hurt each other. Like right now, Logan Paul's fighting some asshole. That sounds like fun.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
But
pay for it.
He was not. He was never up for the rematch. I know.
Fuck
Yeah, look, if that guy's listening to this right now, anytime, buddy, you want to do a rematch, I'd fucking love to do a rematch, just because I'm poor and I could use the money. It'd be nice to do something that people want to see. People want to see goofballs fight. They do. They really, really do.
Fuck yeah. And that is absolutely that's absolutely going to be the title of this episode. Just, I've got to mention that's just because that's the best story. It's the funniest thing.
Thank you.
That should be the proudest thing you've ever done. Absolutely.
I'm pretty proud of that. Hey, and I'm so sorry. I got to hop off the phone pretty soon just because I got another show in a couple of minutes.
I was just about to say.
Any more questions before I go?
The only thing I was going to say was, one, thank you for coming on, Asterios. I really appreciate that. And I want to ask you, why haven't you, because you said you're a wrestling fan. I'm a huge wrestling fan as well. Why haven't you sort of gone into doing wrestling podcasts of some degree?
Oh, I had one for a little bit with a best friend of mine from college. We did a show. It was literally just called the Generic Wrestling Podcast. And the gimmick was we would try to predict who was going to win and lose at each month's pay-per-view. Just like pick'ems. Because I think that's one of the most fun parts about wrestling is like trying to figure out what comes next in the storyline, where it's like, well, Samoa Joe has to win because he lost last month to The Undertaker, so he's going to need to beat Seth Rollins this month so he looks strong when he faces Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. And then people are expecting Lesnar to win at SummerSlam, but if Samoa Joe beats Lesnar, then Samoa Joe can headline WrestleMania against Roman Reigns. And like, just the storytelling is like, I love that part of it. But unfortunately, my buddy, like, he lost his day job and we had to shut it down for a little bit. But hopefully someday we'll bring it back because fucking wrestling rules, man. Wrestling's the goddamn best.
Absolutely, it's honestly, if I couldn't make a living doing podcasts, I'd be making a living not being a wrestler. Fuck no, I'm not in shape for that. Oh God, no. But something in the industry somewhere. Absolutely.
Oh my God, yes, I can. My wrestling is so cool.
It is, absolutely. So that's it. Let's sum that up. I appreciate you coming on this, Asterios. It's you know what? I was really nervous for this because, big cool guest, but you're just a normal guy from New York podcasting on different people's podcasts. You're a good dude, and I appreciate you coming on this podcast. I really do.
Thank you for having me on. You take it easy.
No worries. Thank you, brother.